Okay, hello everyone. Thank you. I just want to start off by saying thank you for being here. We really appreciate your time. I think as youth, it's really important for us to have strong and influential leaders to guide us. So I just wanted to say thank you. We really appreciate it. My name is Jocelyn. I'm a senior at Wilbur Creston Keller High School. I'm going to be graduating here in a month. I'm really excited. I am the president of our Tribal Youth Council, and thank you guys for being here.
Hello, my name is Carson. I am the vice president on the Keller Youth Council. I'm a junior in high school, and yeah, thank you for being here.
My name is Clarence Clark. I'm our Keller Youth Council secretary. I'm, like Carson, a junior, and I forgot what else I was supposed to say. I think I'm supposed to say my age. I'm 17.
Hello, I'm Sandra Monahan. I am a freshman at the Wilbur Creston Keller High School, and I am a treasurer on the Youth Council. Thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm Karina Nomi, and I'm the Keller Youth Specialist, and I'm going to be reading you the debate rules for today. We have a time limit. Each candidate will have a set time for opening statements, responses, and closing remarks. Time clock will be visibly displayed in front of the candidates. Opening statements will be 2 minutes. Responses to the questions will be 1 minute and 30 seconds, and closing statements will be 2 minutes. We have Jocelyn as our designated youth facilitator to ensure fair and orderly discussion. The moderators have the authority to enforce rules and maintain decorum. Question format, candidates will be given equal opportunity to respond, no direct rebuttals unless specified by the mediators. Candidates must remain respectful and professional. Personal attacks, interruptions, or inflammatory language will not be tolerated. Repeated violations may result in a time deduction or removal from the debate. Audience participation. The audience is encouraged to attend and listen, but must remain respectful. No disruptions, shouting, or commentary during candidate responses. Technical issues. In the event of a technical issue, the debate will pause briefly to allow for a resolution. Recording and media. Debates may be recorded and made available for public viewing. Media representation are welcome, but must adhere to the designated area and guidelines. And then we will start with Amber. You can do your opening statement.
Hello, my name is Amber Cuny. I am a mother of 3. I'm 37 years old, and I am a lifelong resident of the Keller community. I'm also a proud member of the Colville tribe, obviously. But I want to thank you guys for putting this on. I too think it's really important for the youth to have strong leaders to look up for, and I'm really proud of you guys for doing that. I look forward to hearing what kind of questions you guys have, and I'm going to do my best to answer them in a timely and professional response. So thank you guys.
And then Michael, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Michael Samuels Jr. My mother is Caroline Cuny. My father is the late Michael Samuels Sr. of Idaho. My grandmother is Barbara Arepa and the late James Albertson. And on the other side, it's Gwendolyn Syjon and Basil Samuels. I'd just like to thank the Youth Development Program for holding this, and look forward to the questions.
Good evening. I'm Story Jackson. I'm happy to be here to meet with you and discuss the questions that you have tonight. Coming from the smallest district on the reservation, I just feel like together we have to have a small but mighty narrative. And so being from Keller, I just really felt obligated as a leader, as a community member to, get my candidacy out there. And I would really, really be honored to serve on the Colville Business Council, not only for Keller, but the entire Colville Confederated Tribes. Again, welcome everyone who came. I heard it was not widely known that this was going to happen tonight, so next round, maybe there will be more in attendance. Thank you for preparing the meal. That was a good addition. And let's get rolling.
Okay, so I have the first question. I'm going to be starting off with you, Story. So my first question on this list is, could you tell us a specific problem in our community that you want to prioritize during your first year, and what steps you're going to take to address it?
Sure, thank you. I think over the past couple years, I think a problem that we've had in our community is just a lack of cohesiveness between our council and the community. I'd like to see our leaders at school events. I'd like to see our leaders, I would expect to see our leaders at businesses in the community, at different programs in the community, really to find out what is truly going on, not just at the district meetings, but within the community, out talking to the members in Keller. So that is one of the issues, and I think if the leaders are out in the community talking to the youth, talking to the elders, talking to the employees who are serving our clients in the clinic, our clients at our treatment center, our children in the school, I think that you will be able to solve even the more deeper problems. And I believe that's important. Thank you.
Thank you, Story. Okay, I'm going to move to you, Michael. Would you like to, if you want me to repeat the question, I could do that for you. Do you want me to repeat it? Sure. Yeah, okay. Could you tell a specific problem in our community that you want to prioritize during your first year and the steps you're going to take to address it?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to start off with right here in this Keller school, our grade schoolers seem to be having a problem here. We've had numerous grade schoolers transfer to across the river. I can't imagine how hard that is on them. I graduated from Wilbur myself, and it's a day trip. You wake up sometimes in the dark, you get home in the dark, and then we got our grade schoolers doing that right now. And I'd really like to look into that, see if we can resolve that and get some of our kids back here in Keller. And really that would be my focus on education for the youth in this district.
Thank you so much. I'm going to turn to you, Amber. I will repeat the question. Could you tell us a specific problem in our community that you want to prioritize during your first year and the steps that you will take to address it?
So I think one of the really big things that we struggle with here in this community, and not only this community, it's res-wide, is substance abuse. We have far too many people who struggle with it, and there's not enough resources, I feel. One of the things I would like to see done is to have a detox center built, so that way when our people are ready to go, they're able to get into treatment and get that help that is needed. Right now, the addicts, they come in, they say, I'm ready. It's come back tomorrow, come back next week, a month later. They don't have that. They're looking for help. They're ready now. And I think we need to find a way to be able to provide that for them, to help our people, and so yeah, that is my goal. I would like to look into getting grants to help fund to get a detox center put, as well as to pay for the qualified staff. So that's one of my goals. Thank you.
Thank you guys for your thoughtful responses. I'm going to pass it down to Sunray, who is going to ask you the next question.
Hello. Oh, sorry. Hello. So this is the second question, and Story, what are your views on expanding infrastructure and transportation access?
Thank you, Sunray. I typically attend the district meetings here in Keller, and every few rounds we do have discussion on what the community wants, what improvements can be made, and I know that our Keller Park, which is beautiful, that was mentioned, that we'd like to have improvements at the Keller Park. Our community center is possibly older than me, maybe about the same age as me. It definitely needs some care, and I think that it can be, we see renovations happening across the reservation to the community centers, so that's been mentioned, that the community would like that to be upgraded, remodeled, maybe expanded. I know there's been a mention of a restaurant. You know, we really are missing our restaurant. None of you probably even got to experience the Pines, and so that was something that the community brought up at the district meeting, and that's what I would be here for, is to listen to the community, to listen to the needs and the dreams of the community and work towards infrastructure.
Thank you, Story. We're going to move on to the next candidate.
Okay, Michael, I'm going to repeat the question. Is that okay? Yep. What are your views on expanding infrastructure and transportation access?
Let's see, I'd like to start off with Manila Creek. It's a pretty bad road. At our latest district meeting, it is in the process, but some people blow tires, possibly wreck, and we do have kids going over that route as well. So that's where I'd like to see infrastructure rebuilt. Thank you.
Thank you. Amber, what are your views on expanding infrastructure and transportation access?
So I think it is a great idea. I think we need more housing. I would like to see maybe some bigger dwellings put within our communities, not only Keller, but reservation-wide, for those families who take on the extra child or have multiple dependents and there's not enough room. We have kids that are sharing rooms, teenagers with younger children. And so I would like to see that, as well as maybe some single homes, apartment, studio complexes, something for people who are single and that don't qualify to get into these HUD homes because they do not have dependents. So it kind of creates a barrier for them, and I'd like to see some of those broken down for some of our people. For roads, I definitely think that is a big issue, res-wide as well, as that is one of our ways we get to and from work, to doctor's appointments, going home, and I really think it's important that we have safe roads for our families and our people to travel. I would like to see Ferry County and the tribe have better relations and be on the same page as to getting these roads fixed. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, I'm going to say the next question. I'm going to actually start with you, Michael. So our third question is, what is one issue in Keller District that you think has been ignored and what you will do differently?
Well, I would have to go back to the education in this school. We've attended meetings, had the school board in our meetings, and I personally have some kids that transferred from here to Spelem instead of Wilbur, but I think that's a major issue that's been ignored, is our children in the school here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Amber, I'll repeat the question. What is one issue in our Keller district that you think has been ignored and what you would do differently?
I think one of our issues is the relationships. Are we good? Yeah. Okay. The relationships between our community and our children within our Colville Business Council and our community as well. And I think those need to be strengthened. And I'd really like to see, whether it's me or one of my fellow candidates that get up there and improve that and be that voice and take charge and really start interaction between our community members, our schools. You know, I think it's really important, and it's a bummer that it's been kind of overlooked, that there's not a lot of interaction there. And I think it's, you know, great. I seen you guys up at Business Council, and I think that's awesome. I hope you guys are able to keep doing that, keep meeting with them, getting that structure and seeing how it really works, so that way you guys have all of the knowledge and the tools to carry forward and be our next generation of strong leaders. So thank you.
Thank you, Amber. Okay, I'm going to turn to you, Story. I'll repeat the question. What is one issue in our Keller district that you think has been ignored and what you would do differently?
Thank you. So I don't want to say that it's been ignored. I think it's a challenge, and that is safety in our community. Safety, meaning a lack of officers, the response time if there's an emergency in Keller. It's known that we do not have a fire truck. We do not have EMS. We do have an officer that lives in the community, but being short-staffed, he could be in Inchalim, he could be in OMAC, he could be off of a shift. And so I believe that safety is something that really needs to be worked on, whether it's recruiting new officers, expanding EMS, so that our community can feel safe in the event of an emergency. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. So for our next question, I'm going to turn to Clarence, and he will start you guys off.
So I wanted to start with you, Amber. So what my question was, how will you regularly communicate with your community members and show progress on your commitments?
I think communicating with the community is very important, and I would show up to our district meetings on top of that. Social media output, word of mouth. I think it would be nice if we were able to meet more than just once a month with our council members to get updates, maybe even putting reports back into the Tribal Tribune. I used to love seeing what people were doing, their travel, their expenses and stuff like that. So there are many ways to communicate. I think that we just have to have the right people that are willing to put in that work to communicate with our people.
Thank you. All right, Michael, whatever you prefer. You want me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
All right. So my question, how will you regularly communicate with your community members and show progress on your commitments?
Yes, other than attending district meetings, I'd make myself available by cell phone, home phone, social media, and yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Story, you want me to repeat the question? All right. How will you regularly communicate with community members and show progress on your commitments?
Sure. So I do volunteer a lot in the community. I do feel like I'm exposed at different activities with different groups. I will continue that, absolutely. I think if I were on council, I would have more flexibility to maybe visit at the senior meal site, maybe to visit at some of the businesses, make myself available, and also, you know, maybe not knowing the structure of, you know, what my days will look like, some of them, but when there is free time, maybe have some office hours in the community. Like, this is where I'll be. I've got Zoom meetings. I've got, you know, some reading to do, but I'll be available at this location. You know, come and visit if you can't call. Just being in the community. This school has family nights out. I feel like attendance should be mandatory, you know, come into the community. And so just being exposed, being approachable. I do feel like I'm an approachable person, and you know, so I want to be available. If anyone wants to come talk, I do answer my phone. I do return phone calls. That gives a lot of credibility, you know, to the position if you do answer your phone.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay. We're gonna start with Michael again. How would you strengthen education and youth programs within the Colville community?
Can you speak up on that a little bit?
How would you strengthen education and youth programs within the Colville community?
Sanction? Is that what you said? Strengthen. Sorry. And involvement, complete involvement from the Colville Business Council on all your guys' needs and concerns, following through with all that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Story, would you like me to repeat the question? How would you strengthen education and youth programs within the Colville community?
As a graduate of WSU and a former school board member here in Keller, I don't just value education, I understand the mechanics of it. I've lobbied in DC for funding for our schools. And, you know, starting with the youth, keeping culture in the schools. Right now within Keller, we have an excellent language program. We have culture brought in from community members that spend time in the school. Our language teachers come here in person. They teach by Zoom. That's being continued into, or it's being expanded into Wilbur. And I think that's important so that the kids will have that culture starting at a young age. It continues into high school. And, you know, just supporting the youth, being there at their events, if they have someone to look up to, I think it's good encouragement. And I really encourage everyone to see what's happening at the school, because there are some good things, even amongst, you know, some of the negative visually that's happening. There are some good things happening in this school. Thank you.
Thank you. Amber, would you like me to repeat the question? Yes. How would you strengthen education and youth programs within the Colville community?
So I would like to see a little bit more involvement between our families and the school. I would also like to see the school get more input from our families and our parents that have children attending these schools. I think that's really important to know the needs of what they have in mind. I would also like to see some grants maybe gone after to help improve education. I think it would be great to get some technical education integrated into our programs. As we all know, technology is major and it's ever evolving, and I think it would really be a powerful tool for our kids to learn and adapt to. I would also like to see our history and our traditions being taught to our children here at our school. These are our schools on our native land, and I would really like to see those traditions not only be learned from parents and elders, but to be taught within the doors of our own community schools. So those are just a couple ways I feel would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll pass this to Jocelyn.
Okay, so I'm gonna I know you just finished, Amber, but I'm gonna start with you. So I wanted to ask, what will you do to give youth in Keller real reasons and opportunities to come back or stay after school?
Can you repeat that question one more time?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, I can. So what will you do to give youth in Keller real reasons and opportunities to stay or come back after school?
So I think it'd be great to see some trainings and maybe even see you guys go on board with like some little job seminars just to kind of get a grip of the real world and how it is. I think that would be amazing. I think to have some more cultural activities offered to our community members. I know we do have some. I'm not sure if it's just not put out enough for our youth to attend or not, but I would also like to see maybe a shuttle being offered to go pick some of these children up that their parents are working, or maybe they don't got a car, just no means of transportation, and giving that to the children so that they can come and enjoy these activities.
Thank you, Amber. I'm going to move to you, Michael. I'll repeat the question. What will you do to give youth in Keller real reasons or opportunities to stay or come back after school?
Yeah, I'd like to see some more cultural activities done around here, as far as fishing, how to take care of a fish, hunting, how to cut up some meat, store it for the winter, even into ribbon dressmaking, root digging, and I'd like to see some incentives for these offered by our community or our tribe for participation, and along with your kids' grades, incentives for that. I'd like to see that.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, I'm going to move to you, Story. I'll repeat the question. What will you do to give youth in Keller real reasons and opportunities to come back or stay after school?
Thank you. For myself, growing up, I was very involved in 4-H, and through 4-H, I was able to visit universities. I was able to visit the Capitol. By going to universities and different college campuses, I just felt a strong desire to attend a university. I know there are trade schools that youth can visit. I was involved in agriculture and 4-H on that side, and so I did attend an agricultural college, but maybe a youth is interested in drones. There are demonstrations, there are clinics, there are camps for everything, and I think just exposing the youth to those different opportunities that they are interested in, and also tying it back, like what does the tribe do with drones? So that I can have a career back here with this thing that I'm interested in, this hobby. I can actually have a career with it. And I think that's important.
Thank you guys all for your thoughtful responses. I'm going to pass it to Carson over here to get you started with the next question.
Okay, we're gonna start with you again, Story. At the end of your term, what changes should we expect to see?
If I were elected at the end of my term, I feel that the community would understand the policies that we follow within the tribe. I would like people to understand why we follow them, why we have a constitution, the government to government agreements that we have with the state, with the federal government. I think there's a lot of education out there that, people just don't understand why the tribe does the things they do, the policies that they're restricted to. So exposure to council, exposure to the business that happens, the decisions that are made, and the action that's taken after those decisions. Just clear communication, and I know it's a catchphrase, but transparency and, just exposing the community to the issues that we face within the tribal government. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Story. Michael, at the end of your term, what changes should we expect to see?
At the end of my term, I would expect the community members to understand that I did my best job to be transparent to all members in each district and show that I did my best job in performing my duties and connecting with the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. On to Amber. At the end of your term, what changes should we expect to see?
I think that the engagement between council and our people and our communities will be strengthened, as well as the interactions within our community. I would still like to come and involve myself and engage with the community and our youth as well, even after term. And yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you guys. Okay, we're gonna pass it down to Sunray. She's gonna get you started with the next question.
Alrighty, we're gonna start off with Amber. What is your top priorities for the Colville Business Council, and how do you plan to achieve them?
I think my top priority would be making sure that I'm engaged with my community and learning what their needs are. Transparency, and be able to talk with you guys and work towards what we all think that our community is in need of. I think that would definitely be my priority.
Thank you. Story. What are your top priorities for the Business Council, and how do you plan to achieve them?
My top priorities would be, a top priority is to support the programs that are working so hard for our tribe. I believe we have a lot of great programs out there that need support. Possibly things can be done better, but we have, a housing crisis nationwide, but we have an amazing housing authority. Sorry. But we have an amazing housing authority. So we are working extremely hard to provide housing. I think, obviously, keeping the federal government in check on recognizing our sovereignty and what their requirements are to us, what their obligations are to us. So that's another priority. And then, of course, communicating that. Again, safety and even working with other tribes to make sure that all natives are represented. And lost my train of thought, but those are important priorities. Sorry.
Thank you, Story.
I got
Michael.
distracted a little bit.
What are your top priorities for the Colville Business Council, and how do you plan to achieve them?
Yeah, I'd start off with the elders, the available resources to them, the housing, safe housing, and also youth, our next generation. I'd like to see more resources for you guys, your needs and concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna be passing it off to Clarence to start you guys off with the next question.
All right, so Amber, my question is, what strategies do you propose for improving healthcare services on the reservation?
I think better community outreach would be great to see. I know that there are all different kinds of grants that you can go out to help fund our healthcare, and so I'd like to see that utilized to full potential.
Okay, Michael, the question was, what strategies do you propose for improving healthcare services on the reservation?
Let's see. Let's start off with dental. It seems like dentist is pretty hard to come around here. We all need our mouth, our teeth, so we can talk, communicate, eat, and I'd like to see what I could do about dentals around here. Thank you.
Thank you. Story. So my question was, what strategies do you propose for improving healthcare services on those reservation?
I think we have a great opportunity right now when we moved away from IHS and are managing our health clinics now as a tribal program. So that's a great opportunity. I know there's some growing pains there. It's pretty new, but from what I've read, it is a good move for our tribe. Making sure that our community members know the services that are available. We have physical therapy in Keller. You know, we have a dental hygienist that comes to Keller. Your appointment might be 8 months out, but if people don't know that, then they don't make the appointments. I know that they've discussed or perhaps have acupuncture, some other holistic medicines, and if our people don't know that it's available, then they won't get the help they need. So that's important that we all know what services are available. If you need help making appointments or getting to appointments, you know, working with our tribal health programs, and again, going back to transportation, you know, getting people to their appointments and whatnot is important as well. But I do think we have a strong clinic system here on the reservation, and it's going to get stronger.
Thank you.
Okay, so I would like to start off with Michael for our next question. How will you support economic development and job creation within the community?
Economic development and what? Sorry.
Job creation. And if you would like me to repeat the question, I can do that as well.
Sure, one more time. Complete.
How will you support economic development and job creation within our community?
Let's see here. I'd like to promote the youth getting more involved in learning our natural resources department. That's involves fish and game, forestry, soils, water. That's one of our primary resources here at the Colville Reservation is timber. But to grow timber, we got to take care of our watersheds. And I'd like to promote that and see more of you kids learn and understand natural resources.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, I'm going to move on to Amber. I will repeat the question. How will you support economic development and job creation within our community?
I would like to support it by getting out and finding grants to help fund, whether it's building new development. With that comes new employment. I would like to see maybe our summer youth be able to take on more workers. I know that they take only a limited amount, and I would like to see that be increased. I would like to see more housing and stuff built within the community. Then again, it brings more jobs for people needing to build those houses. There's all kinds of stuff that could really be done. You just gotta find the funding for it and have the idea for it.
Thank you, Amber. Okay, I'm going to turn to you, Story. I will repeat the question. How do you plan to support economic development and job creation within our community?
Thank you. I believe in promoting small business, encouraging tribal member businesses, which then would provide jobs for our tribal membership and our community members. For tribal economic development, I do like to see the new businesses being proposed, and you know, our Colville Fuels are building and expanding. They're doing more marketing. They're doing some hiring events. Our gaming and our casinos do lots of hiring events. They are working to improve and expand out into our traditional territories. So all of those new opportunities are pretty exciting. Hopefully we can have tribal members in those businesses working as well, promoting that employment, whether it's here or with some of our businesses that are off reservation. And I think just thinking outside the box and moving beyond gaming and moving beyond our C-stores, I'm sure there's a lot of great ideas out there. We'd love to hear them and just expand, and it all creates jobs, which is important.
Thank you guys all for your thoughtful responses. I'm going to turn it over to Carson to get you started with the next question.
Okay, for the last question, we will start with Amber. How will you advocate for tribal sovereignty in partnerships with federal and state governments?
I would like to be present and going out and speaking up for our people and strengthening them bonds within the federal government, and just really being present and being that voice that can be heard and not taking no for an answer.
Thank you. Michael, do you want me to repeat this?
Yes, please.
How will you advocate for tribal sovereignty in partnerships with federal and state governments?
Yeah, I'd like to attend state legislature sessions, be involved, learn policy and procedures involved with the process, and also federal in Washington, D.C. Involvement, attend as many sessions as I could, and learn the policies and procedures involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Story, would you like me to repeat the question? How will you advocate for tribal sovereignty in partnerships with federal and state governments?
Sure. So Mike said it great. Lobbying is extremely important at the state level, at the federal level. You know, they have turnover just like the Business Council has turnover. And I do believe the state divisions need to be reminded that sovereignty is our independent authority. Luckily, our state offices, all of our state departments have tribal liaisons, so I think familiarizing ourselves with them, and they can also speak for us at the table. Working with AT&I, you know, building that cohesive strategic group when there are tribal issues is extremely important. So while staying in the community is important, the travel and the lobbying is also very critical.
Thank you, guys. That will reach the end of all of our questions. We deeply, deeply appreciate your time and your willingness to come up here and talk to us about topics that were important to us. Yeah, so we're going to have closing remarks. Each of you will have your 2 minutes, and we can start off with you, Michael. You can go first, and we'll go down the line.
In closing, I want to thank the Youth Development Program for holding this. I want to thank these young adults sitting here for attending and showing part in this. I guess I want to close with I understand the importance of maintaining tribal sovereignty, protecting our resources, promoting economical growth, while providing for our tribal members' needs and concerns. Without challenging myself, I cannot be the best version of myself and continue to grow and learn. And looking forward to any continued support. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, so Story, would you like to give us your closing remark?
Thank you. Thank you for hosting this event. It was really interesting, and thank you to my fellow candidates. I know it takes a lot to get up here, and you know, we're all first timers, and so just being exposed in this respect. We don't have experience at the council table, but we are all ready for it. I want to thank the people who attended as well. I know we have a small crowd. Couple things in closing. I do want to invite you all to the Keller Junior Rodeo this weekend. That's at the Keller Rodeo Grounds, Saturday and Sunday. There is a family night out next week here at the Keller School. It is a cultural night, and so I think that would be fun to attend, get involved with the school. A North Star meeting next week as well. I've joined up with Brandy. Community involvement, if we can all work together and, for the strength of Keller, again, small but mighty. Thank you.
Thank you, Story. We'll go to you, Amber, for your closing remark.
Well, I want to thank the youth department and the youth council for putting this event on. I think it's great. It's awesome that you guys have built all these questions to ask and get our input and kind of get a insight as to what we can bring to the table. I think it's awesome. I would like to thank all of the people who have attended today, and also our media crew. I'd like to thank them. I would like to thank whoever cooked the Indian tacos. That was awesome. And yeah, I just, I'm excited to see what the outcomes are, and I'm ready for it.
Thank you. Good luck to you guys all. I had such an amazing time being here and talking with you guys. Thank you guys for being here.